We are back now at 8:08 with Shannen Doherty. As Brenda Walsh on Beverly Hills 90210, she was Brandon's twin sister, Dylan's girlfriend, and of course Kelly's best frenemy. Then she dabbled in the paranormal on the hit series Charmed. Now she's out with her memoir, Badass, a hard-earned guide to living life with style and the right attitude. Shannen, good morning to you. Seems to me, looking at this book, that it's a lot about labels. The labels we put on ourselves and the labels that are imposed upon us by others. The label you put on yourself these days is badass, and we're going to talk about why you think that's a good thing. But I want to start out the way you started out the book. You talk about the labels that have been imposed on you by other people. Some of them are really nice. Smart, talented, beautiful. Some not so nice.
Some really hurtful.
Mean, they use the B word.
Right. Ugly. I mean, I've been called all sorts of things by people.
And yet you write in the book, did I deserve the negative labels? Well, yeah, but not all the time, and certainly not for the reasons they thought. What do you mean?
Well, I think that people at that time thought that I was just sort of a bad girl and malicious. I associate a bad girl with being somebody who's a little bit malicious.
And at that time, you're talking about when you were doing 90210 and the years subsequent to that, yeah.
And that, you know, you make mistakes and you don't learn from your mistakes, and that's my definition of a bad girl. And I don't think I ever kept repeating mistakes. I just think that I was trying to find my way, and I was never malicious. It was, I had my own things going on, and because I was trying to be somewhat private, nobody kind of knew what was happening with my dad and my dad's health.
Well, let's talk about that, because you started 90210 when you were 19 years old, and I don't think anybody knew at that time. I mean, your dad had gotten ill with a heart condition when you were 12, I think it started.
Yes.
By 19, you're really taking care of your family.
Yes.
Supporting your family, but you were very private about it. You didn't ever talk about it.
Right. Well, I mean, at the time, I didn't really think it was anybody's business. And, you know, if you back up a little bit, when I was 10, my mom had an aneurysm and had a 10% chance of living. And she's, you know, very healthy and amazing, amazing woman. But then you have my father, who has strokes and heart attacks. I think now it's 10 strokes, 9 heart attacks, quintuple bypass heart surgery, dialysis. And yeah, at some point I looked at my mom and said, my mom was working and my dad was trying to work for as long as he could. And I looked at my mom and said, he needs, you know, somebody with him all the time. And I would prefer that to be you. Like, let's work this out. And I sort of came on and took on that responsibility. And I think of it as an honor.
But then how did it provoke some of the bad behavior? Because, I mean, you cop to it. You say that your reputation was questionable.
Well, think about the responsibility. So for me, it was not only the fear of abandonment of losing your parents growing up as a child and losing my 2 best friends because I'm that close with my parents, but then it's the responsibility and then all this attention and this press and you're having to supposedly watch every move that you make. And I think that it's just natural to sort of fall down even more. And sadly, you're falling down in front of millions and millions of people, and you have the press that's magnifying it, making it 10 times worse than it actually was.
Did you feel at the time that they were going after you?
I did. I mean, not that I didn't.
Ask for it?
Ask for it a little bit. I think that I did. You know, if you're having problems, you should probably become a shut-in, you know, and go to therapy and figure it out. But at the same time, I'm really happy that I lived my life the way that I did, because it's all of those mistakes and everything that I learned growing up as I did that put me where I am now.
At 27, you had a DUI, and you said that was your turning point.
It's the most humiliating, embarrassing, disgraceful moment of my life. It's shameful to get a DUI. It's shameful to put other people at risk and yourself at risk, and horrible to embarrass your family that way. And it was a tragic experience, and one that I'm very, very, very grateful for, because it was that moment that a good friend of mine, an attorney, Adam Caller, looked at me and said, "What are you doing? You know, this isn't you, and when are you going to realize that you deserve success and stop running away and stop being self-destructive?" And it hit me at that moment in my life. It really resonated, and it's when I got on my path to becoming a badass.
And you say that, we've come full circle. You say that word as if that is a good thing, and you truly believe it is.
It is.
It's the other B word. Why is it the
other
good
B word that's
B
not
word?
good? Because I think my definition of a badass is my grandmother is a perfect example of a badass. She's
Does she know
strong.
that?
She does know that. She admits it. She's a strong, confident woman who can go out there and do it on her own. My grandfather passed away, and you know what? My grandmother is still out there, and she goes to the bank, and she handles everything, and she handles the house, and she's got it all under control. But she does it with charm, with this beautiful Southern charm and a smile on her face, and she doesn't have to yell to be heard. She's compassionate. She has integrity, and that to me is a badass.
When you see these young actresses now, Shannen, making a lot of poor decisions, foolish mistakes, some that you made in your own past, what do you want to say to them?
I want to say more to everybody else rather than to them. I kind of want to just look at everybody else and say stop with so much focus on them. Give them a break and let them figure this out on their own. And I think the more attention you bring to it, it almost makes things worse, even for them. So at some point, everybody deserves a certain amount of privacy to fall down.
All right, Shannen Doherty, thank you so much.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
to see you.
It's always nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The book is called Badass. Shannen Doherty, thanks again.